When it comes to the whole feminism, it's about equality. Feminism is not about equality. It's a women's advocacy movement. They will secure equality if said equality comes at the benefit of women, but they will not pursue equality in realms or scenarios where that equality does not benefit women in some way. So it's not really a true equality movement in the same way like it would be for egalitarianism. Because if you look at, for example, you often hear arguments about the wage gap. Men get paid more money, but like when women are like trying to secure certain jobs or these certain fields, you hear it with STEM, but it's not about across the board equality. Women are fighting for the cushy, safe, air-conditioned office jobs, the high-paying jobs. You don't see like women in the streets fighting for bricklaying jobs.
We've created a generation of narcissistic women. And what's happened is the rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be in with it, every poor choice is glamorized, and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. And so what will happen is they are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project. And so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I. And unfortunately, we've got an online market that caters to that wounded woman, that caters to that entitled woman, and caters to that narcissistic woman. And it's so wild to me that so many women talk about narcissism, but the society today is just catering to narcissistic women.
I went to one of them women's marches and we had a lot in common. I saw those girls screaming, "Free the nipple!" That sounds pretty good, right? They were screaming, "We should be able to have sex with as many guys as we want." Yes, you should. If we get pregnant, we should be able to abort it. Hopefully. And we need to work so we can pay our half. Hallelujah. Fellas, get down here. It's happening. We've reached common ground. It was unbelievable. These women were fighting for the right to become the men they've always hated. Just walking around with their shirts off, whoever, not worried about the kid. I'm like, y'all feminists or fuckboys? What is this shit?
Modern women, at least in Western societies, expect everything and provide nothing. Feminism ruined modern dating. As long as you aren't dating these new feminists, third-wave feminists, dating is fine, at least for now. Statistics show that women are not happier, but more miserable and angry. The cruelest part of it is the name, feminism, and the constant blathering on about how it exists for the sake of women. It is the spiritual equivalent of a rapist kidnapper telling his victims that he is doing it for their good. Just because something claims to be good doesn't mean it is. After all, doesn't the devil deal in illusion to sell the sin? Isn't all evil something we fool ourselves, or are fooled by others, into believing is good? Feminism is rooted in an essential hatred of the feminine, or at the very least, a misunderstanding of the feminine. It often tries to get women to embrace both masculine virtues and vices. Men tend to be physically stronger. Let's have women play rough sports. Men tend to be more competitive and overly aggressive. Let's have women do the same and put them in boardrooms. Men are sleeping around? Let's give women the pill and have them sleep around too. Except that sleeping around makes no one happy, and it seems to produce even more misery in women than it does in men. These days, women will attack you if you open a door for them, and heaven help you if you say, "You look very nice today." That is a one-way trip to HR, or the jobless line. Most women have become men haters, and attack men for any little thing real or imagined. There is a difference between real women, who think they should be treated as equals, and that men and women should be treated with equal respect, and the radical liberal loon feminazis that eat men for lunch and spit them out and trample on their corpses. The latter has ruined a lot of things. Women today think they deserve special treatment and only deserve the upper percent of men, and ignore the average guy who might not make as much money but would treat them nicely and with respect. Feminism fills women's heads with unrealistic ideas and expectations that ultimately set these women up for disappointment and unfulfilled lives. Of course, many will conflate that statement with misogyny and anti-equality sentiments. However, I would contend that feminism stopped being about equality decades ago, and modern feminism is nothing more than a bullying juggernaut of supremacy. No man with self-respect or value would have anything to do with someone who is disingenuous and hateful toward him, discriminatory to his kind, and oppressive to him. What most young people don't understand about feminism is that there have been different waves of feminism. The first two nobody disagreed with because they were for women's rights, which you now have. The third wave of feminism has gone away from that and turned into misandry, sexism towards men, combined with brainwashing women to believe they are victims of oppression, especially males, in order to keep up with the woke identity politics. Part of this has been devaluing women's contribution as mothers. Another has been insisting that women should work the same as men. The result of this is often unhappy career-driven women who realize too late in life they wanted a family too, but that was the choice they gave up to compete doing 80-hour weeks for a job. Men don't give that up because biology allows us to reproduce at pretty much any age. Feminism has objectified men. While male chauvinism objectifies women for their looks, feminism objectifies men for their money. If a man has the ability to flash wealth, all the women will flock to him. Consider a man with a flashy car. Flashy cars are slut magnets. There are YouTube videos demonstrating this. The show where men rent high-end sports cars and park them in front of shopping districts in Las Vegas or Hollywood. Women from all walks of life hop into his car and have sex with him because they think he owns it. When he reveals it's a rental, they assault him. Google these videos. Indeed, psychological research backs up this idea. It's more obvious in high school and college. The 11th grader whose daddy bought him a Ferrari gets a new sex partner every day of the week. It's the same in college. After college, some females start to figure it out, probably after they've had unwanted pregnancies and STDs. Let's look at some stats from the scientific literature. Feminism destroyed romance and marriage in general, given its 70% divorce rate in Western countries. The divorce rate is around 70%. Coincidentally, around 70% of all divorces are made by the female. Because of a legal system that is heavily biased in favor of the woman, the divorcing woman gets alimony for life. For as long as she is alive, the husband must pay a huge, sometimes crippling portion of his wages to the woman who left him. She also gets his house and the good car, leaving him homeless and with a piece of junk to drive. She also gets custody of the children. If he is lucky, he can see them on weekends or something. Today, women are running away from their families in droves. When polled, compared to previous generations, more people than ever under 30 say they have no desire for marriage or long-term relationships in general. One-night stands, now known as hookup culture, are now the dominant form of relationship between males and females. I believe that since early feminism, when women were seeking genuine equality or equity, feminism has morphed into something toxic. Modern feminism promotes female superiority. It promotes death. If feminism were about being equal or equitable, about fairness, it would be called equalism. Imagine if a men's rights movement emerged that called itself masculism or something. Everyone associated with the group would be hunted down, fired from their jobs, blacklisted, and ruined in general. It is what it is. Anyway, that's all for today on Manhood. Remember to smash the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.